Alright, family and friends, I'm out here early in the morning. Just let our chickens out. Gonna check on the greenhouse. Even though we do have power to our greenhouse, both solar and conventional, we still like to check it. Yep, our fan's not on, so that means it should be about, oh yeah, thermometer over here says 37, 38. So that means the thermometer over there, actually we have a ground thermometer, so there's a little bit of difference. So if the ground temperature is 40, we're good with that. And obviously all our plants are good with it too, because we've got plants in here. I've got a Meyer lemon I need to harvest soon. We got a lot of flowers in here that thinks it's still tropical weather. Oh, and I spoke too soon. Our fan just cycled on, so I've got the door open, which is probably why. So all the greenhouse plants are doing well, and we're happy with it, even though I probably should have put this cassava closer to the fan, but it's still green and living, and our chicken water system is still working. So let's check on a few other things. So one of the things we try to do as best we can in our garden areas is to rotate what we grow in different garden beds. Some things we grow pretty much everywhere, like garlic, but it's important to have a good cycle of your leafy greens, your root vegetables, and your fruiting plants like tomatoes, peppers. So we try to rotate those as much as possible. And one example, we did our tomatoes out in the garage garden last year. The year before that, we did our tomatoes over in this area in the inner garden. So next year, we're going to do our tomatoes either here in this corner of the inner garden or over in this corner of the inner garden. Mrs. SG and I haven't decided on that yet, but we'll do that with our fruiting plants. We'll do probably more squash and more eggplant and peppers over here. We've got garlic pretty much anywhere, but in our garage garden we did some garlic there last year, so we'll probably try to do leafy greens. One problem we have, our garage garden area, which I'll walk you over there. So one problem with our garage garden, which we've cleaned up a lot, is pest control. And here we do use red pepper flakes because our pup Maggie doesn't come out here regularly, and if we do bring her out here, we make sure that she's on a leash, so she can't get on a bed that's got red pepper flake in it, because we know we don't want our pets to get into that. That could be a bad situation. If your pet, dog or cat scratches, gets red pepper flakes in their eyes, they can damage their eyes with their claws trying to get it out. So we want to avoid that if at all possible. But we know we've got pests like rabbits that get in here. So rabbits love leafy greens, they love carrots, they love pretty much everything you're growing in your garden. So we'll have to figure out, aside from just the red pepper flakes and some of the liquid rabbit deterrent that we put out, we'll have to figure out maybe some caging systems, or maybe we'll just use frost covers or floating row covers and see if that helps. But the garage garden is cleared. We gotta rake some weeds and get it out of the way, but for all intents and purposes, and I'll put up a few images of what it looked like before with the weeds actually standing tall and proud, and what it looks like now, it's night and day. talked about the micro orchard 2 yet, which we've got a lot we're going to try to get done now in the cooler weather, but some things will have to wait until spring, because one of our rules with our fruit trees is we don't declare anything dead until June 1st, but we know we've got at least one fruit tree that we think is dead, and possibly 2-3 others. And what we'll do is we'll wait till June before we replace any fruit trees in the micro orchard, and that's one of the things we've got to do. But I'm going to walk over, look at some areas. We've got some ideas of what we want to do with. So we came out to the micro orchard a couple of days ago after a good rain. That was a good tip, a good reminder from our friend Sid and Tori at the Naked Gardeners to check out your homestead for low spots and wet spots, and we definitely have some of both here. They cleared this area for us. They did a great job over here, but we had some high spots, some low spots, some spots that held water, and I'll put a few images up for you to look at really quick. And unfortunately, we didn't get anything leveled. So what we had before, we have now, just minus the weeds and the wood pile. So we may either ask our neighbor who's got a compact tractor, or we might rent one, or we might hire somebody to come out and level it a little bit after we buy a few cubic yards of soil, see if we can get it a little bit more level, or at least get the water going where we want it to go out here. We've got this area here, which used to be one giant wood pile, and we intend to make this, hopefully, high tunnel area. We actually got a few trees that we might still cut down, or we might leave. We don't hate trees. Obviously we've got a lot of them on our property, and one good thing about these trees is they drop leaves, which we can rake up, add to our compost piles, add to our garden beds as a organic mulch, or we can make piles of it to make leaf mold. So we don't mind having some trees here. The problem we have is shade, and this time of morning gives you a good idea of some of the sun that we get here, but it does get really shady at other times. So we're gonna see what we can do with this area, but we hopefully will be able to put a polytunnel up here where it gets the most sun throughout the day, and then we're going to put down some silage tarps over areas we don't want to get overgrown again, but we want to keep a pathway so we can come in with a riding mower or a small tractor when we need to do work. So me and Mrs. SG are brainstorming now before we make any next steps, but hopefully it'll look a lot different in a few months come springtime. So really quick updates. We'll try to keep everybody up on our plans, and hopefully our plans help everybody else decide what they're going to do with their plans. So on behalf of the family here at Essayons Family Garden, this is Rob, the Sapper Gardener, saying God bless our great country America, and God bless you wherever you reside around the world. Take care. Sapper out.